Carl and Damon here from Games, Brains and Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for sure. And they made what into a TV series. It is Devil May Cry, Episode 2, Our Lady of Sorrows, directed by Han Sung-woo. We're now off and rolling. We've done our introductions in the last episode. We know who our cast are, and now we just want to continue the story. And it's time to get Dante. Remember the end of episode 1? Pretty much everybody went, Dante, gotta get the kid who was obliviously dancing away in his apartment. So now everybody's going to get him, or at least the amulet around his neck. And Vice President Baines has set up a group to go in and get him. Dozens of mercenaries, cocky and troublesome, alongside an elite team of Darkcom agents led by Lieutenant Mary Ann Arkham, as we see her brooding away in the background. Now, I think her introduction is terrible. I really do. It's like she seems like such a basic character. It's well disappointing. However, I'm going to do this a lot. Oh my God. When this show goes on, outstanding character she becomes. But this early introduction, she's just that whole female badass, kind of overtly smart. It's not a great introduction. And the sort of shot of her with her hood up and stand, I was a bit like, even a second watch, I was like, yeah, you didn't introduce her well.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's also breeding for good reason. We will reveal that soon enough. Before that, though, one of the mercenaries reveals. I love a scene like this. I love a scene, right? We get a group of badasses going, yeah, this is not going to be a problem. And then you get that one guy in the background. Maybe he's sitting in darkness. Maybe he lights a match and he's like, you have no idea. That kind of thing. And he basically does it. Reveals, look, Dante is not to be trifled with. He worked with him once. And basically, as he points out, Dante doesn't just destroy demons for a job. He does it for fun. And he does it with ease. And he's like, look, you guys have fun. I'm not doing it. But then he also do a funny scene when the bounties, Baines is like, yeah, 500 grand. And he's like, all right, yeah, all right then. All right, I might as well have a go too. And I was just like, yeah, that's quite funny. A great scene. I know it's such a basic bit scene, the guy sitting in the background revealing how dangerous the guy is, but I still love it.
Yeah, it's excellent.
What are we up to? Basically, so all of them are heading out except one, who was a bit talky during round. So Mary kind of asks him to sort of stay behind, and starts talking to him and kind of reveals to this particular mercenary that demons are real. She kind of goes off in a bit of a speech. And you can't be thinking, well, why him? Well, she kind of reveals she knows who he is. He's a demon in disguise. And Mary reveals that she really fucking hates demons here. Really hates them. And kills it with ease. Good scene. I love the establishment here that she's smarter than the rest. She's the leader for a reason. But also, I love the fact that they get across quickly. I was like, okay, there's this hunting demons and then there's hate for demons.
Yeah.
So immediately there's why do you hate them more than anybody else?
Yeah, she's got a past where maybe they killed her family or something like that. There's some sort of past there, yeah.
Indeed. Here's Anders now. Bane reveals to Mary that he's been recruited to the team. Mary isn't too happy. But Baines insists because Anders apparently asked to be on the team. And there is, unfortunately, a big fucking clue, yes.
Yep.
But then, worryingly, it's part of God's plan. And I'm just like, oh, no, Baines. No, don't sneak like that. And then Enzo was brought in. He's going to be used to draw Dante out so the mercs can pick him up, which he sets about doing, going to Dante's apartment late one night and being caught off guard by the demon hunter, who is not happy, believing Enzo set him up with the shape-shifting demon. As Enzo pleads his innocence, we see that a van full of the mercenaries are actually listening in. We get a very funny scene as Enzo, after all of that, Don is like, you expect me to believe all of this? And it goes, all right then. And I was like, I love that. It's just like the matter of fact, because also I'm like, he's not stupid. He's not, and he's going to reveal he's not stupid. Like the one thing about Dante, and the show will do as well, he's cocky, he's arrogant, he makes mistakes, but he's not an idiot.
Yeah.
So Dante and Enzo clear the air, but Dante reveals to Enzo basically like, look, I know there's groups of mercenary teams coming for me. And Enzo's like, look, I'm sorry, I set you up, but look, all they really want is the amulet. Maybe just give it to them and they'll leave you alone. And basically, like, Dante's like, nah, man, it came from my dead mother. Like, it stays with me.
Yep.
And it was a bit like, right, but like, why? Or Dante asked the question, why? Why do they
Mm.
all really want it? He never really does.
Nope.
So yeah, Dante lays a trap for the mercenaries, and we get a one of the well, this is all action to the end of this episode, as we get a fantastic sequence that sees well those mercenaries well and truly beat. And there's even again some funny scenes here because Dante treats it like it is a game. And he
Yep.
treats it like it's a bit of a workout. They are no challenge to him, but that is important because we
Yeah.
need to differentiate between the talents of Dante, the talents of everyday mercenaries, and the talents of Darkcom, who aren't like the rest either.
I did find it funny when they're all shooting
He
against the
re
wall, and he's like, "Who are we shooting at?" And they're like, "What?"
Yeah. And then when he reunites with the guy that he met previously, and that's quite funny, yes.
Yeah.
But the second part of the battle, when some of the Darkcom grunts come in, reveals it's getting a bit tougher for Dante,
Mm.
and actually reveals Dante's ability to heal after he is shot point blank range with a shotgun. He's a superhero of sorts, as he says, but he wouldn't call himself that. That's that, he wouldn't say, "Hey, I'm not a super," that kind of thing. What do you make of that sort of thing? Like, because obviously that's like that makes him not human.
Yeah, I kind of gathered that he was some sort of like, I don't know, like a god. I don't know what he like. What's the word? Not a
Well,
vampire, but
like a Dampier style
yeah, yeah,
character,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. That's it. Yeah, yeah. So like he's got the abilities of the demons, but he's actually human. That sort of thing, like sort of style.
Cool, 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 cool. Excellent, all of it. Excellent. Yep. I'm intrigued because I appreciate you're clearly paying attention to what you're watching. And all of this is being monitored by Dotcom, who are basically unimpressed and puzzled by Dante. I do love the fact that they really don't get why they're there either. And
Yeah,
they're like, I don't get this guy. Like, what is the deal with him? And here we do get a bit of a forced, let's be honest, it's a bit forced backstory about Sparta.
yeah,
It kind of just gets, it feels a bit awkwardly jammed in, but you know what? They kind of need to get this out of the way, I think. So just do it.
yeah,
A demon knight who once served the demon king Mundus and then rebelled, basically, when it came time to try and enslave humanity, rebelled. It was him who sealed off the realms, upon which he basically disappeared. Mary, though, is the one telling this. And if you listen to her tone, you get kind of like a begrudging respect, but
mm,
also still filled with hate for demons. She's kind of acknowledging what he did was a good thing, but she
yeah,
kind of hates the fact that she has to acknowledge it. Now, did you pick up on the fact that while we do, there's a question here, right? So Sparta did this, right? Why? Right? Why would he suddenly and randomly turn against his own kind
yep.
and steal off Earth? Come on, you've got a theory. I know you do. Do you? Let me know. I want to know what your theory is. I won't reveal whether it's right or wrong.
Why did he turn?
Against hell. And
Yeah, I. It's a dumb theory. It's a dumb theory,
well,
but I got the feeling that he fell for a human girl, and
hmm,
Dante is his child.
okay.
And that was my theory.
All right.
So that's why he's half human and half, I don't know, half demon. I suppose you can call him. I don't know. Or so.
Oh, I'm gonna break my rule. I'm gonna spoil this because you fucking nailed it. You
Oh,
landed
okay.
it bang on. Sparta fell in love with a human woman, and they had twin boys. In fact, they had twin boys,
Yeah,
and one of them,
yeah, of course.
yeah, because Virgil in it.
Yeah,
One of them is Dante. You're absolutely right. He is half demon,
yeah.
half human, and that is why Sparta. Of course, thing is, I don't think it's that much of a spoilers because,
It's not,
of course, why else? Why if what if not for love? Why else? Right?
and that explains why obviously the mother had the amulet too. So yeah, so
Indeed, indeed. There it all is. But there's still more detail around it because, well, where did Sparta go? Why does Dante not know this? And so on.
yeah,
Yeah, so having defeated the mercenaries, Mary and Dante now fight because Mary goes together and she quickly defeats him, getting the amulet and running away. But Dante gives chase, nicknaming her Lady, get used to that, and her fight continues on the rooftops. They actually get a little bit talky here, as this is when Mary realizes Dante isn't human, and he's actually, she even calls him a human-demon hybrid. But Dante
mhm,
refutes that. He's just special. He's a special, that's it, you know?
yeah,
But she mocks Dante for being basically unaware of what he actually is. Dante does try to stop Mary from escaping, but she manages to defeat him again and puts a bomb in his neck. Um, Mary and the team then prepare to transport Dante and Enzi to their headquarters for questioning. He's been captured. And that is how episode 2 ends. Yeah, that's fun getting characters together. Big action scene pretty much dominates the majority of it, and a bit
Yep.
more detail about the Dante side of things. Feels like we're ticking along quite nicely.
Yeah, I mean, I know it'll be quite boring, but it'd be like, if the vice president just walked in and goes, "Look, Dante, your necklace is the key to the gates of hell. Do you want to help us? And then it'll solve all your problems." But instead, let's just attack this geezer who's killing demons, who's a demon killer.
I agree to some degree, but Dante, I think, would turn around and go, "You don't worry about it, I'll look after the amulet."
I
And
think so
that's the
too. Yeah,
problem. I think he will still not give it up. I think
yeah.
based off his, I think he'd be like, "Yeah, I can I can protect it." And
He's
that's
very,
the problem there. They
he's very
want
arrogant. Yeah.
it. Yes, they want it. Or maybe they
Mhm.
want it for a different reason. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Actually, it wouldn't surprise me. The human race and all, church
Bast-
godly.
Bastards, right? But also
Yep.
remember this important thing. Demons walk among us. They hide amongst us.
Mhm.
Our Lady of Sorrows, episode 2, Devil May Cry. You got any thoughts on this one? You know what to do. Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It does help us out. You can find us at gbhbl.com and across all social media platforms. And if you really want to give us a bit of extra support, please consider buying us a cup of coffee over on our coffee page. Thank you.